I think you're amazing.
You are too, Henry.
Thank you so much. Well, Perry, you are awesome.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, and I appreciate you what you're doing too, buddy.
Well, thank you. Because if you allow the world to define you, if you allow friends to define you, if you allow your spouse to define you or anybody to define you outside of how God sees you, that does open the door to rejection. God bless you. I hope y'all have an amazing day.
Thank you, Brother Henry.
Thank
God
you.
bless you too. Thank you for having us.
Well, hello everybody. How are you doing today? I hope everyone out there is doing just fine. And I must say that I'm doing fine too. First of all, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for being kind enough to tune in today. And it is very much appreciated. And I would like to welcome all of you to this episode of the Brother Henry and You Show. And in case you haven't figured it out already, I am not Brother Henry. No, I'm not. I'm filling in for Brother Henry. I am Taryn Jerome Harris. And I am truly honored and delighted to be here with you today, filling in for my good friend, Brother Henry. And I tell you, it is such a joy, an honor, and a privilege to have this opportunity to come into your presence on this very special occasion. And I consider it special because, you know, people don't have to invite you to be their guest or anything, but out of the kindness of their heart, they think of you. And so that is something to be grateful for. And believe me, I am truly grateful. So I thank you again for being with us. Now, today I have a nice little topic that I want to share with you. And we're just going to discuss it for a few minutes. And the topic is know when to leave the party. Once again, know when to leave the party. And I'm sure that most of you have heard that phrase time and time again on various occasions. Well, in this instance, what we're talking about is, well, it can be a number of things, but I kind of want to focus on ministry. You know, a lot of times there are cases where, you know, there are very prominent individuals in various ministries. You know, they may serve as a pastor, or they may be an evangelist, or they may have this worldwide telecast or whatnot. But whatever it is, they have probably spent a long time doing it, you know, and traveling the world, going from coast to coast, evangelizing here and there. And if they're involved in music ministry, you know, doing a lot of singing and performing, or ministering, I should say, not performing, since we're talking about, you know, in church. They've spent a great deal of their lives doing that, well into their old age. And even though they have gotten further along in years and time has brought about many changes in their lives, for some reason they still don't want to let it go. They're still trying to hold on and keep on. I tell you, but you know, it comes a time when we have to let go of things. You know, as much as we enjoy whatever it is that we do, and regardless of how much fulfillment it brings us, and how much our adoring fans enjoy seeing us and hearing us, being around us, you know, there's a season for all of that. In the book of Ecclesiastes, it tells us that to everything there's a season. And so it's good to do things no matter what capacity it is that we find ourselves doing it. But at the same time, it's good to know when we need to put it down, because what we must remember is that there's a new generation coming after us. And if we have made our mark doing a certain thing, our legacies are sealed. I mean, they will remain intact long after we've gone off the scene. Meanwhile, we have a new generation coming on board, and I'm sure that they would like to have a shot at doing whatever it is that they've always had aspirations of doing. But, sometimes you have these old heads who, for some reason or another, just don't want to let it go. And I think a lot of times it's because they feel as if no one else can do it like they can. And that's true. They can't. Nobody else can do a thing like you can or like I can. But they can do something, and who knows? There may be somebody out there who can do it a little bit better. I mean, but you never know what a person can do unless you give them a chance. That's the thing. People have to be given an opportunity to demonstrate their skills and their talents and display their gifts. Only then will anyone know exactly what they're capable of doing. There are lots of people around the world who either have held, currently hold, or at some point in the future will hold a prominent position in their lives. However, as fabulous as those positions may be, and as grand of a time as they may have, all the while enjoying a great deal of success, having a significant amount of influence, and being surrounded by countless adoring fans and supporters, there will come a day when it will be time to leave the spotlight and pass the torch on to somebody else. But see, that's the thing that a lot of these older people have a problem with, passing the torch on to somebody else. Because I guess in their mind, they feel as if there's no one else worthy of passing the torch on to. And they said that if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. and that's true, in most cases. But there is a time and a season for us to do everything in this life. I don't care what it is, and we have to understand that we're not going to be here forever. None of us came to this earth to remain forever. We're just passing by. And for that reason, it's important that we remember to, enjoy whatever it is that we're doing at that present moment, and try to do it for as long as we can and the best we can. But understand too that no matter what it is we're doing, there is always someone else waiting in line to take our place. But most people don't want their place to be taken because they feel as if they are the only one who can occupy that space. They feel as if they were called and chosen for that spot forever. But that's not true. Nope, it's not. Because, we've seen so many instances where people have stayed in a thing or in a place or a position for far longer than they were meant to be there, only to not only do themselves and the people around them a great disservice, but in the process of that, they tend to hold up progress. You know, they prevent the organization or the group that they're affiliated with from moving forward and going to a higher level. You know, they're a stumbling block of sorts. You know, they have become a hindrance, a major hindrance. And oftentimes they can't see it. They think that, you know, people are trying to rush them out the door. But it's not that. It's just that, you know, everybody else can see that their time is up, except that individual. It's that person who has yet to realize that. But everybody around them has realized it already, long before it even hits that person. So, you know, I've never been a fan of wearing out my welcome anywhere. And I would never tell anyone else to do that either. I mean, it's never a good thing to wear out your welcome in a place or around a group of folks, or I don't care where it is. It could be a job, or it could be like in a church, a ministry, or you know, anything, organization, club, or whatever. Just don't wear out your welcome. You know, go there, do what you can, the best you can, while you can, and then know when to get up out of there. That to me is a very good thing to do. Now, I'm going to leave you with this. This is my personal philosophy. It's one that dropped in my spirit 10 years ago, and I would like to share it with you. And that is, when a season in your life has ran its course, there is no need to try to stretch it out any further. You know, everything we do in life is for a season. And it's up to us to understand when that season has been fulfilled. And when it is, then it's time for us to move on. Move on to something bigger and better. And whatever it is that we leave behind, let somebody else come along and take up the mantle and perhaps move it a little further than we were able to. So, those are my thoughts. Know when to leave the party. And that's what I encourage all of you out there to grab a hold of. Know when it's time to go. Don't overstay your welcome. And you'll feel much better in the long run. So on that note, I would like to say thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of the Brother Henry and You Show. I really enjoyed being with you. And before I go, I would like to encourage you and invite you to follow me online, if you will. You can find me on Facebook, Taryn Jerome Harris. You just type my name in and I'll come up. You can also follow me on YouTube, Taryn Jerome Harris. And I also do a little podcast, which can be found on there as well. I just do it through my YouTube channel. And it's called TJ's Topics. I try to have a little interesting discussion with all my followers on a weekly basis. And I'm sure you may run across something of interest. And along with some other videos. So feel free to follow me on there, as well as Instagram, TJ Harris 1979. And finally, you can find me on TikTok, Taryn Jerome Harris. And I certainly look forward to seeing you on one of those platforms very soon. In the meantime, I want to thank you very much for tuning in today. And I look forward to seeing you again next time for another episode of the Brother Henry and You Show. So stay tuned, all right? This is Taryn Jerome Harris. And I would like to tell all of you out there that every round goes higher and higher. Thank you so much.
Well, Perry, you are awesome.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, and I appreciate you what you're doing too, buddy.
Well, thank you. Because if you allow the world to define you, if you allow friends to define you, if you allow your spouse to define you, or anybody to define you outside of how God sees you, that does open the door to rejection. God bless you. And I hope y'all have an amazing day.
Thank you, Brother Henry.
Thank
God bless you
Thank you.
too. Thank you for having us.